great start.
Like it's weird to start someone in your flex on a Thursday night.
All I'm saying.
I
only have wide receivers that I would start though.
Like I could have played Aaron Jones too. Like
no, but I would never play Aaron Jones.
You just need pivot options.
My pivot options are only wide receivers. So if the world was ending and I was going to bench Jalen Waddle for no good reason and start a wide receiver, I would still be able to start anyone on my bench.
Whatever, man. We got to start the show. Welcome, one and all, to Week 8's Every Man's Fantasy Football Podcast. It's me and Blake here today. We're arguing a little bit to start. Sorry about that.
I started George Pickens. I'm upset.
And I'm just trying to, give him some advice so he doesn't do something like that again.
I didn't.
But anyway, regardless, we're here with Week 8. We're going to dive right into the news. Blake's on laptop duty today, so I'm going to let him lead.
Let's see. Live update. Whoa, they're popping up like crazy. Drake London's groin hurts.
Oh, no.
He's been ruled out for Sunday's game against the Vikings just now.
That's crazy. That was live.
That just happened.
A few seconds ago.
As live news as you're going to get, except later.
Yeah, except later.
Upload time.
Another live update. Chuba Hubbard has been named the starting running back for the Panthers. Miles Sanders owners are in shambles.
Wasn't he last week and the week before?
I mean,
Did they just
split touches.
They just named it now.
Miles Sanders has been awful, so.
Chuba wasn't great last week either, but now it's officially named.
It's officially official.
More running back news. Damian Pierce and Robert Woods are expected to miss this Sunday against my Tampa Bay Bucks. Maybe we win a game.
Maybe.
That'd be cool.
Deshaun Watson will start on Sunday. Now, when he starts and stubs his toe and is out for the rest of the game, don't come crying to me. Just don't play the guy.
Going into last night's matchup, Titans versus Steelers, probably saw Treylon Burks get carted off the field.
Mm-hmm.
We went to a long commercial break after he dropped a deep pass on
Looked like he landed on his head and back.
Yeah, it wasn't moving for a bit, but I think they said he was moving again.
Yeah, he had all function of his arms and legs. So
yeah,
hopefully,
so that's good.
Hopefully it's not a season ender. Darren Waller will miss Sunday's game against the Raiders, so find a pivot option there. Oh, and Matthew Stafford, IR, is not an option, so I shouldn't expect him to miss more than a month.
Let's see, I played last night. Watson. Oh, Taylor Heineke has been named the starter for the Falcons this week. Good for them. They should have done that a couple weeks ago.
Yep. Aiden O'Connell has been named the starter for the Raiders as well. Jimmy G, see you later.
Speaking of the Raiders, they did fire their head coach and GM.
McDaniels and Ziegler.
Josh McDaniels is gone.
A year late, in my opinion.
Honestly, yep. Maybe a year and a half. They were horrible last year. Really, really should have done it last year.
Seriously, they lost. They were up in so many games and then choked leads. That's like the telltale sign of terrible coaching. I think they'd learn.
Let's see. With the trade deadline this last week, Donovan Peoples-Jones got sent to the Lions, leaving Amari Cooper as the only option with Njoku in that offense.
Because Elijah Moore stinks.
True.
Vikings plan to start Jaron Hall this week. They did just trade for Josh Dobbs as well, but I mean, he just got in the building, so won't be playing Sunday.
I didn't know that. Oh, they came out and said they're starting Hall?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Tyson Bagent will start for the Bears against the Saints this week. I can't wait. So another week without Fields. Oh, here's a big one. Kendrick Bourne out for the season with a torn ACL. Terrible news. He was having a great year. Very sad to see.
Leonard Fournette did sign with the Bills this last week. His legs look huge.
Yeah, that video is crazy. Did you see that was Nick Saban tattooed on his thigh?
No, really?
He played for LSU. Why does he have a tattoo of Nick Saban on his thigh?
That's weird. I don't know.
Final news. It's the worst news of all. Kirk Cousins out for the year with a torn Achilles. I mean, that's like the most likable player in the NFL. You just hate to see it for the guy. Hopefully he comes back bigger and better than ever.
On to the matchups.
Huzzah! Lots of news. There's also some other trade things, but they're defensive players, and we don't care about that on this show.
He's right. We don't care at all. Unless you're a Commanders fan.
Alrighty.
And you care immensely.
Now, Heading into the Thursday night football game
Oh,
last
yeah,
week,
whatever, you can talk about it.
me and Blake both had our picks going into this game. We did the show right before Thursday night last week. We're doing it after Thursday night this week. Sorry about that, y'all. But yeah, Blake chose the Bucks to win and to cover. They did cover, just didn't win. I chose the Bills to win and to cover. They just won, didn't cover. So 1-1, 500 and away for both of us.
We're actually both 2-2 now.
Well, oh yeah, after last night.
But you'll never know.
Yeah, you'll never know. This was a pretty good game to start, but then the Bills kind of went ahead, dominated up until the fourth quarter when the Bucks put together kind of a late comeback win. That's where Mike Evans and Baker got all their fantasy points. Rashad White, also a pretty good day. Kind of lit it up in the passing game.
Led the team in receiving yards and catches.
He's been one of the best running backs catching the balls out of the backfield all year. I think that'll continue, man. He's a great player in the open field with the ball. Chris Godwin, another decent game too. You like to see that?
Yeah, Godwin. Godwin's a reliable target for Baker for sure. Definitely getting a good target share.
Yeah. I mean, all the pass catchers for the Bills, 8. I mean, down to their wide receiver 3, Khalil Shakir, who put together a nice day with 6 catches and 92 yards. On the other hand, a kind of a down day for Stephon Diggs.
Yeah, but he's got a floor of 16 fantasy points.
Yeah, right.
So,
only 12 targets, only 70 yards, only 9 catches. The down day for Diggs. I mean, even Dalton Kincaid, the rookie, got involved with Dawson Knox out for a while. Dalton Kincaid should be in any matchup. But yeah, big win for the Bills though.
Puts my Bucks down to 3-4. Bills
Yep.
up to 5-3.
Saints and Falcons running that division now.
Barely.
You want to go into this Panthers game?
Yeah. Last week we saw a kind of boring but good game from the Houston Texans and Carolina Panthers.
Pretty boring, man. Just 2 rookie QBs, really.
Yeah, the Texans did not really air out the football as much as they have been in previous weeks. C.J. Stroud just couldn't really get it together, resulting in poor wide receiver play for your fantasy lineup. CJ's only touchdown was rushing this week, and he still only got like 13 fantasy points. If you had to on a bye week, I would still start CJ. I think he's got a pretty high ceiling. And I mean, that's not a horrible floor, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, you do want more, but
definitely.
You got to remember, this guy's a rookie.
Yeah, he is a rookie, and he's going to have these rookie weeks where he just doesn't perform.
Yeah,
can't get the offense going. We saw Chuba Hubbard kind of lead the backfield, like we just said. Miles Sanders had 2 carries for 0 yards. I think everyone kind of thought he was going to be the guy this year. I think at this point,
they paid him.
No, he's not.
They paid him. They brought him in. They paid him.
I don't know why.
Yeah, looks like a giant waste of money for sure for the Panthers. On the other hand, Adam Thielen looks like a steal. He's turned back the clock. He's been great. This was a down week for Adam Thielen, finishing with 15 points, but 11 targets. Guy's getting 10-plus targets every week. That's automatic start in fantasy.
Yep.
But a last-second field goal gets the Panthers their first win of the season.
Carolina's first win at 9-6.
I know.
Trash.
They don't have their first-round pick either, so they need to win these games.
Who has it?
The Bears.
The
Bears. Moving on to a blowout game between the Cowboys and the Rams. I mean, this game was never close. Cowboys come out and they look like Super Bowl contenders. The next week they come out, they look like they should be in the bottom half of the draft. Dak, another great game. He's got a really easy schedule coming up too. I think you should be targeting Dak. He's played great recently. But the running back room for the Cowboys has been pretty abysmal.
Atrocious.
Tony Pollard has been spiraling down.
And he went in like the late first, early second round this year, man.
I know. Really hurting a lot of people. You know who's not hurting a lot of people? CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb. If this game was close at all, he would have had 50 points in fantasy. He just 14 targets, came down with 12 of them for 158 yards and 2 scores. Just unstoppable, really.
Yeah, he didn't have like a great start to the season for like a wide receiver 1 perspective, but I mean, he's showing you here that any given week he can go out there and ball. He's Dak's number 1 guy.
Yeah, without a doubt. It feels like Jerry doesn't want to pay him. It feels like Jerry came in and was like, Dak, don't throw CeeDee the ball
I mean, they got rid of Amari Cooper, and everyone was kind of like, "Oh, is like CD like all you guys are gonna rock with?" And now it's like you don't. I mean, that's your guy. That has to be your guy.
He needs to be getting Adam Thielen type work.
Mm-hmm.
On the other side for the Rams, the wide receivers were pretty abysmal, which you hate to see. Cooper Kupp and Puka are wide receiver ones in fantasy. Well, at least Cooper Kupp used to be. I don't know. After these last couple of weeks, it's kind of worrisome.
Yeah, it definitely is. Looks like they're kind of rocking the younger guys starting to take over a little bit.
Yeah. Like I said, worrisome. Matt Stafford's going to be out for a couple of weeks, too. They got their bye coming up after this matchup this weekend. So, I mean, if you got these Rams, you might be looking to trade them. But regardless, big win for the Cowboys. Their defense continues to eat. Moving on to a divisional matchup. You know how much we love these divisional matchups. This one had a lot of sadness in it too, though. With Kirk going down, it was the Vikings versus the Packers. Moment of silence for Kirk Cousins. So sad to see, honestly. A torn Achilles, out for the season. I mean, everybody loves Kirk Cousins.
I'm not laughing at Kirk. I'm laughing at Russell.
It's just sad, really. If anyone's going to tear their Achilles, I'd hope it would be like Mike Evans or something.
What the hell, man? I hope it was Marshawn Lattimore.
Why would you say that?
Why would you say that about Mike?
Oh, fair enough.
I hope it was Alvin Kamara.
All right, that's way too far.
But he's on Hunter's team.
Still way too far. Big win for the Vikings, though. Kirk carried them until he went down. They were able to hold the lead because the Packers can't figure out how to move the football. Very worrisome to see Aaron Jones continue to underperform. He's still dealing with that injury, which is probably going to linger all year. It's a hamstring injury. He's a running back. So, I mean, if you got A.J. Dillon, you might be looking to plug and play for the rest of the year. Or until you see Aaron Jones absolutely playing like the Aaron Jones of old. Jordan Love, I don't think he's him.
He's not him.
I don't think he's going to be their starting quarterback for very much longer, honestly.
No, I mean, I don't think anyone expected the Packers to come out and be like the team to beat by any means.
But you'd expect,
and they're
Jordan
a very
Love
young
to show
team.
some,
all of his weapons are young, aside from old Aaron Jones that can't stay healthy anymore.
I mean, they're gonna move on from him soon, bro. If I feel like they're only holding on to him so he can break like the Packers rushing record, and then
Aaron Jones,
then they'll let him go because he's like right there. He needs like a season and a half, and he'll break it.
Well,
so that seems like the only real reason that they would continue to keep him around.
That's probably as an RB1 right now. He's splitting work as an RB2, only getting, I mean, how many rushes did he have this last week? 7? He's not going to break it at that rate.
That's not going to work, man.
No.
But you are right. The wide receivers for the Packers are all very young. So, I mean, things could change. Maybe Jordan Love just needs a little more time, but from what I've seen recently, I don't see it.
Yeah, I'm not confident starting any Packers wide receiver.
Mm-hmm.
There's no clear number one in that.
Honestly, just not confident starting any Packer.
No, I'm not either.
Both running backs and Jordan Love are both sketch. Big win for the Vikings, though. Josh Dobbs, this is your team going forward. I don't know if Justin Jefferson comes back with Kirk gone, but we'll have to see.
You definitely don't rush him back.
Yeah.
Unless he's 100% healthy, ready to ball out. But, I mean, he was renegotiating his contract before the season, so it's like you kind of want to come back and prove you're still...
I'm still that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, big win for the Vikings. Moving on to Indianapolis, where we saw the New Orleans Saints in a high-scoring fashion beat the Colts. This was awesome. Derek Carr, 3 weeks in a row of a top 15 fantasy performance. That's pretty cool. What do you think of that? What do you think of that?
I think Alvin Kamara is the only reason that is even possible.
He does pad his stats. Only 4 catches, though.
50 yards and a touchdown.
50 yards is definitely helping Derek Carr out. He's just throwing for over 300 yards every game, man. The wide receivers, Rashid Shaheed, great day, 3 catches.
That's who padded his stats.
51 yards a catch. I mean, he got 200 yards of offense from 2 guys.
Those 2 guys, that's crazy. That is crazy.
On what?
That's off.
On 8 catches.
Yeah.
On 7 catches.
7, yeah, 4 and 3.
7 catches, he got over 200 yards from 2 guys. Yeah, this was a big play kind of day. Same with the Colts, honestly. They had Josh Downs making big plays. both running backs were running all over the Saints to start this game,
Both
too.
efficient. Then they just stopped.
Yeah, and then they just stopped doing what they were doing so well. Taysom Hill, another big story. He was a plug and play for a lot of people in the tight end slot. He's not even a tight end. He's a quarterback, a receiver, running back. He throws some blocks, too. You could call him a lineman as well. I mean, he's just a football player, and I love him for that. No defense, which is kind of unexpected with the Saints. Gardner Minshew.
Well, the Colts just put up a lot of points against the Browns all-time season.
The Colts are a sneaky, really good offense, man. They've got some good receivers, and they've got two really good running backs.
I agree.
Saints, too. I mean, there's a bunch of talent all around. I need more of these games. I need all these guys getting involved, not just Alvin Kamara. And Chris Olave. Chris Olave's got to be better.
Mid.
Got to be better. He's not playing like a wide receiver one. That ball hit him right in the noggin. Right in the noggin.
No,
Could have
Kamara's
been a
your wide
walk-in
receiver
touchdown.
one. Alvin Kamara's your wide receiver one.
He looks like the wide receiver one as of late. But yeah, big win for the Saints.
Yeah,
Right now 4-4.
Right after I drop him.
Another divisional matchup here, which is kind of close to start. New England versus Miami.
It was close until
Patriots were able to score first and then kind of just gave up.
It was close until that Waddle touchdown, honestly, in the fourth quarter.
Yeah. No, I feel like the Tyreek bomb touchdown was the turning point. From there, it was just like...
that did give them a lead, but I mean, the final score was 17-31. That's only 14 points. Like, before that fourth quarter touchdown, it was a 7-point game for at least the whole second half.
Yeah.
Or it was, a one-score game for the most part. But yeah, like you said, overall, it was a pretty solid game. I think everyone knew.
Yeah, Miami should have handled
Dolphins
this
were
game.
gonna-
The line was 9.5, so they had all those points.
Mm-hmm.
So it was kind of expected if you look at it from a betting standpoint.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
On the other hand, though, Tua continues to play at an MVP level, 300-plus yards a game almost. He's got to be in your lineup no matter what.
He's the passing leader right now.
Running back room for Miami continues to struggle after struggling against the Eagles last week. It seems when they play a decent run defense, or I guess even a winning team, they have trouble. But yeah, I mean, it was the complete opposite for the wide receiver room.
Then
You want
you
to go into that? Those are your boys.
Oh yeah, I love me some Miami offense, man. Tyreek Hill doing Tyreek Hill-esque things like he has been all season. 8 catches, 112 yards, and a tutty. We have Jalen Waddle finally having a Jalen Waddle week. Pumped about that. Leading the team in passing or receiving yards with 121. Finally getting in the end. Actually, not finally getting in the end zone. I think it's his 4th touchdown in 5 weeks. So Waddle's definitely starting to get things going, and Tua's realizing not only Tyreek Hill can be an explosive playmaker for the team. Mostert, mid. A-Chain kind of needs to come back, like Russell was saying, to get that running game going again.
Definitely needed. They definitely need the rookie back.
You really like seeing 12 targets for Jalen Waddle. Or I do, at least.
Oh, yeah.
But anyone probably does that has him on the team.
Patriots side, not much there. Kendrick Bourne out for the year with a torn ACL. Very sad to see. Maybe we can see some uptick from the rookie out of Liberty, Demario Douglas. Shout out to Cade Rowland. And Ramondre, of course. We need to see more out of there. Zeke, 7 carries, 36 yards. Not much there. But yeah, good win for Miami, who now has to head to Frankfurt, Germany.
Dude, Ramondre just
to face the Chiefs.
stinks.
Yeah. We moved to MetLife, where we saw the battle for New York. And it's all about those Jets, Jets. We love the Jets.
We do love the Jets.
Zach Wilson, kind of a decent day, no turnovers. When he doesn't turn the ball over, they win.
What, he fumbled twice?
Oh, he did? So, I don't see that.
This guy doesn't watch the Jets.
No, I see no turnovers looking at his stats right now. No fumbles.
He's wrong.
Well, no picks.
He's
when
wrong.
he doesn't throw interceptions, they win.
Fumbled twice.
I'm sorry. I'm looking at the stats, and I don't see 2 fumbles. So drop it.
He wears glasses.
Anyway, no offense out of the Giants. They threw for 12 yards behind Danny DeVito.
They actually
Darren Waller went down.
The Giants didn't complete a single pass in the second half of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Saquon Barkley rushed the ball 36 times.
That's so sad.
They want him to die, apparently, because that is more than a workhorse. I mean, that's just killer. You're going to run any running back into the dirt. I don't care if it's prime Derrick Henry. 36 carries is just asking. Especially against a good defense like the Jets. You're asking for the guy to get hurt.
Mm-hmm.
I
mean, they've got probably the second or third best D-line in the league. And you're just, giving him 36 ways to hurt his knee again.
Like he got hurt to start the season.
Garrett Wilson, on the other hand, great day. Tons of targets. You love to see that.
That's a player.
He's a player. Players play. And Breece Hall, man. He's incredible. He's like a young Kamara. When I watch that guy play, he's like a young Kamara.
He caught 6 of 9 receptions.
And when he catches the ball, he just jukes everybody out. And then if he gets hit by one guy, he's not going down.
Yeah, only 17 yards on his 12 carries. But again, those receptions, that touchdown. I mean, Breece Hall is definitely a running back one, I think, going forward.
Mm-hmm.
I think he wasn't fully healthy to start the season. Now that he is, Dalvin Cook looks like a wasted signing.
Yeah, Dalvin Cook is a giant waste of money.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's all about those Jets.
Kings
Jets,
of New
Jets.
York.
Kings of New York.
New York.
Winning record in the playoffs currently. We hope it continues. Moving on to Pittsburgh. Or was this in Jacksonville?
This was in Pittsburgh.
This was in Pittsburgh.
Yup.
Big win for Jacksonville, sitting at 6-2 going into their bye. Trevor Lawrence may have not been very good for fantasy like previous weeks, but he has looked good as a quarterback, and that's what really matters, That's why they're sitting here with a winning record. Also, Travis Etienne just continues to dominate. 7 touchdowns in his last 4 games.
What a man! What a man!
What a man! What a man! What a money man! All right. Calvin Ridley, 10 targets too. That's a really big deal.
You need more soul.
I wonder why I don't have any soul. But yeah, on the other side, it was good to see Deontay Johnson get so involved off of his injury. 14 targets is huge. He had a ton of targets last night and a score.
We'll go over last night's game.
Yeah, we'll go over Thursday night at the end of the episode. But yeah, I mean, decent day. The Steelers just couldn't score the football. Mitch Trubisky had to come in because Kenny Pickett went down, so it was really just a bad day for the Steelers. And also, quick shout out to Evan Ingram, 10 targets. Love to see that.
10 receptions.
Did you want to go into anything on this game?
No, you pretty much covered all the bases. I hate to see Christian Kirk have a bad week, but I mean, you can't be T-Law's best friend every single week.
Yeah, it's like unfair.
Calvin Ridley is a good football player, and so is Evan Ingram. There's going to be weeks where they out-target him or get out-targeted, whatever.
It is what it is. But a big win for Jacksonville, who sit at 6-2. Moving to Tennessee, we saw the Will Levis show. I mean, what a game from the rookie. No Tannehill this week with the sprained ankle. Hopefully we never have to see Tannehill play QB in the NFL again. Because Will Levis came out and absolutely dominated, man. He diced up the Atlanta defense, who've actually been pretty decent this year.
Yeah, 4 tutties.
4 touchdowns, 3
to
D-Hop. I mean, what a game for the rookie. You also like to see Derrick Henry get involved, but you expect that when they're up in games, because when you're up, you got to get the ball to your running back, and Derrick Henry is one of the best.
Derrick Henry is one of the best. It has definitely not been a career season for him. Actually, it's been a career low season for him.
Mm-hmm. I mean, his last few years have just been so dominant that
it's hard to
a slight downfall that's still kind of good is bad.
He's still a top 20 running back in fantasy football this year, so you don't want to bench Derrick Henry by any means. Finally seeing Tajay Spear volume lower a little bit, which is good. I mean, you want to see that because Tennessee refused to deal Derrick anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So use him.
Exactly. On the other side, Bijan continuing to disappoint. I mean, he was drafted first round just about everywhere. Not playing like a first round back. His counterpart plays for the Lions, starting to play like a first round back. That's what we kind of wanted at Bijan. But yeah, I mean, Arthur Smith, we hate you. We really do. You're just a weird football coach.
I mean, I was never big on Bijan drafting a skill player in an offense known for not utilizing their best weapons. I never wanted anything to do with it because Arthur Smith is an idiot.
You'd think we'd learn our lesson after he drafts Pitts, doesn't use him. And then he drafts Drake London, doesn't use him. And then the third year in a row, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Fool me 3 times.
Can't fool me again.
Fool me, you can't get fooled again.
Yeah, man. Tyler Algier and Cordell Patterson now back and healthy. Their touches, they're only getting out touched by Bijan. Bijan only out touched the two of them combined by one this last week. You got a three-headed snake in that backfield now. I don't really. Bijan is a great player, and you can
Great
still
player.
play him, but he is not going to just boom for 25, 30 points for you with Tyler Algier coming in and getting almost as many touches.
Bijan would be the RB1 on teams like Detroit, teams like the 49ers.
Most teams.
Most run-heavy teams. The Eagles, you put Bijan in those situations, it's totally different. But this Atlanta team is,
they're a run-heavy team, but they just have three running backs they're using.
It's bothersome. It really is. But regardless, big win for Tennessee. Moving to, honestly, these two teams have put together two of the best football games of the season so far.
Great game.
Philadelphia versus Washington.
So fun to
Eagles
watch.
and the Commandos. These matchups have been super spicy. Sam Howell's looked so elite in both of them. Where is he? You told me he was the QB8 on the season currently?
No, not quite that high. Not 8. I think it was let me take a little peek, see here. Oh, yeah, that is what I said.
QB8.
QB8
Sam
on the
Howell
season.
is the QB8. Basically a rookie. He played one game last year. It's kind of like Patrick Mahomes' MVP season.
Might as well be a rookie.
But yeah, I mean, what a game from both teams. Both quarterbacks dicing it up. 4 touchdowns for both of them. You look at the running back room in this game, not anything very special. DeAndre Swift was the highest scoring running back for both teams with 14.4.
He did get bailed out by a late fourth quarter touchdown off a fake brotherly shove.
Yeah,
which was awesome
by the touchdown. I mean, the running, it wasn't really a rushing game. This game was all about the pass game. You scroll down to the pass catchers. We've got 4 people over 20 points, 5 people over 15. If you count tight ends, 6 people over 15. A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith both came down with touchdowns. Jamison Crowder, Jahan Dotson, and Terry McLaurin all came down with touchdowns. It was just a game about passing, no secondary throughout the whole game. Very exciting.
Yeah, dude, Philly is known for having a good secondary, but they're allowing the most points to wide receivers this year in fantasy football.
They're dealing with a lot of injuries in that secondary right now. They also lost a couple guys. They're still very, very dangerous from the D-line. That D-line will keep them in games. Saw it in this one. But yeah, do you have any opinions about Jamison Crowder? I mean, 7 catches for 95 yards and a touchdown. He's also returning kicks for them. Curtis Samuel kind of falling off in a way.
They're still gonna get Curtis involved. Jamison Crowder, I mean, he's a bit older, and I wouldn't expect him to keep it up consistently. I think Terry got 12 targets. Dotson got 10. They're definitely the 1 and 2, and this wasn't, like you said, a pass-heavy game. Sam Howell threw for 4 tutties. He threw the ball 52 times. I mean, it's not gonna
seeing 10 targets for Jahan Dotson is it's really awesome. I was high on him before the year. I think he's very talented. I'd like to see more of that. I don't expect it. Like I said, these Philadelphia games are kind of skewed. They've just been super high scoring. But Jahan Dotson's got to get involved like this. On the other side, A.J. Brown.
What a man.
2
tutties. One of them where he just snags it
on 2 guys. He's just too strong.
Too big, too strong.
Hotty toddy, what can I say? A.J. Brown, what a player.
Broke the NFL record for most consecutive.
Tied it. The next game, if he gets 125 plus, he beats Calvin Johnson's record.
Putting money down on that.
Oh, yeah. But a big win for Philadelphia with the best record in the NFL now at 7-1. Moving. Was this in Seattle? The Browns game?
Seattle, yes.
Browns versus Seahawks. Big win for the Seahawks. This was a close game throughout. Great defensive play from the Browns. They kept it close when the offense couldn't do much. P.J. Walker did have a decent day, yards-wise. Couple picks, though. Definitely didn't help. Same with Geno, though. But that fourth quarter, Geno spiced it up, made some great plays. JSN was able to fig it around the outside and score the game-winning touchdown. So a big win for Seattle.
You hope to see JSN used a little more.
You really do, man. He's just such a talented player. They drafted him high. DK has been very, underwhelming through the last few weeks. He goes into every matchup with an injury designation, which is not fun to see. It might have something to do with it. But 14 targets, only coming down to 5 of them. That is not cool, man.
Nope. Oh, and you hate to see Ken Walker kind of get a good bit of touches given away to Zach
Charbonnet, yeah, not fun.
Chardonnay.
They both had 8 carries and 5 carries with a ton of yards. I mean, they both averaged a ton of yards per clip. They just didn't get a lot of carries. Yeah. 37 attempts out of Geno. It's kind of a weird game. It was very defensive. It was a defensive game in a way, even though it was 24-20, so a decently high-scoring game. But I mean, regardless, it's what you expect out of Browns games.
That is. What, high scoring? Or defensive?
No, like defensive.
Oh, okay, yeah.
All in the defense.
Yeah.
Kareem Hunt, another decent day. I think he should be in your lineup, especially with Jerome Ford dealing with injuries right now.
Yeah, questionable every single week.
Kareem Hunt, I mean, we know the talent's there. Nick Chubb's been gone for a while. Whatever happened to Nick Chubb?
I think he had like a small little leg injury.
A little leg injury? Was the leg like backwards in any way?
Do you know what a right angle looks like?
Yes.
That's what his leg looks like.
Like 90 degree?
Yeah, but not the way you would bend it.
Ooh. Okay, now I remember. So instead of like that, it was like that. Okay.
No, do it. Like just bend your finger like that.
I think I'll break it if I do it. But yeah, no, we missed Nick Chubb. Definitely need to see more out of Ken Walker, though. Pete Carroll, please. You give him 30 carries one week and then 8 carries the next. That's not cool. That's not cool at all. But a good win for Seattle, though. Moving to the Gus Bus show.
Moving on to the Gus Bus show.
Gus Edwards, 3 touchdowns against the Arizona Cardinals. This was actually a closer game than expected.
The Cardinals always put up a fight, honestly. I mean, they beat the Cowboys.
They got the worst record in the NFL, but, they keep it close with all the best teams in the NFL, and they beat some of the best teams in the NFL. Dallas Cowboys.
One up.
I hate to say that about the Cowboys, because they can play like one of the best teams, but then they can play like one of the worst. Not much out of the running back rooms besides, the Gus Bus, who fell into the end zone 3 times. It was all about Gus Edwards in this game. That's why Lamar and the receivers had a low-scoring day. They didn't need him. But still, pretty disappointing to see Lamar finish with only 12 points.
Yeah, Dan Ricardo for the Cardinals, their rookie running back, did get 20 carries. He wasn't very efficient with them, averaging, I think,
just under 4 yards a carry.
Yeah. Not great, not horrible against a really good Ravens defense. If you have to start him this week in your flex or anything, I mean, I wouldn't be totally against it with that kind of volume. He could pop off for a good week. Cardinals' run game is actually pretty solid typically, or it has been this year. I don't know if that was more so James Conner or the line, but
James Conner is expected to come back after the bye too, so that's pretty important.
It's good for them.
Or after this week, sorry, because he's on IR, so he has to miss 4, but he is healthy right now, which is a good sign. Hollywood lucked out with a touchdown into the game to save his day. But really the only good fantasy options outside of Gus Bus and I guess Hollywood were the tight ends. It was the Trey McBride show, 14 targets. People are going to be really high on him this week. He's got a really tough matchup against the Browns, so I've been telling people to bench him, but I understand if you have tight end issues and you have to play him. But 25 points, don't be skewed by that. I don't see that continuing, but when Kyler comes back, hopefully we can get more good days out of the guy.
You should start Trey McBride if you ask me.
I mean, they're playing the Browns this week, so
14 targets.
Yeah, they're playing the Browns this week, guys. Don't be skewed by a 14-target, 25-point game.
The Ravens.
I'm sorry.
The Ravens are a good defense.
I understand. He's got a different QB. He's gonna have Clayton Tune throwing him the ball. Look, I get it. You picked him up. I'm trying to help you people. Trey McBride this week is a sketch play.
I like him.
I know you like him. You picked him up.
I'm starting him.
Moving to the biggest upset of the week, Broncos against the Chiefs. I mean, this was hilarious. They played Taylor Swift after the game just to rub it in a little bit more. They haven't beaten the Chiefs since Barack Obama was the president, which is wild. It's, over 8 seasons ago.
Don't get political.
I'm not getting political. I'm just saying that's such a long time. That's 2 presidents ago. But yeah, I mean, great win for the Broncos. 3-5 Broncos.
Chiefs
Patrick Mahomes with one of his worst games of his career, I think.
Mm-hmm.
2 picks, no touchdowns.
Fumble also. I mean, 3 turnovers from Patty.
Not fun. Javonte Williams was his best game of the year.
Love to see that. Did have to touch the ball 30 times.
Yeah, to only get 18 points.
That's a lot of times to touch the ball.
He had less touches and more points than Saquon, though.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Not much out of anybody for the Chiefs. in terms of fantasy. They only put up 9 points, scored no touchdowns. Very disappointing day. Very underwhelming.
Humbling day for Travis Kelce.
Yeah. I mean, his girl wasn't there. I think she's in, like, Argentina on the Eras Tour, so won't be here for a while. Hopefully you can pick it up without her.
You know, his numbers when she's not there are
Abysmal.
A lot lower.
And then when she is there,
he
out
balls
of this
out.
world. So
stats don't lie.
we need you back, T. Swift. Good win for the Broncos, though. Moving to another great matchup, we saw the Bengals upset the 49ers. Big win for the Bangers. Brock Purdy continues to underwhelm. I mean, just lots of turnovers in his last few games. They're on a 3-week losing streak. What do you think about the current 49ers?
You know, Brock Purdy, I said this yesterday, I'm going to say it again. He started the season as that boy. Now he's kind of looking like a boy out there.
That's poetry in motion right there.
Goddamn right. Yeah, man. 3 turnovers, two picks, 1 fumble. They look like they need Debo back. McCaffrey cannot carry this team by himself, but damn, is he trying.
They need Trent Williams back. I feel like that's even more important.
Yeah, that too for sure, absolutely. I mean, yeah, George Kittle's getting more involved in the offense.
Would you like to see?
A solid little player, but their offense just isn't quite moving like it was to start the season.
They just added, another great pass rusher to the defense, so
that will be huge. They definitely
needed
that this last week because Joe Burrow was running around out there, making them look silly. I mean, he looked really nice this last week. So did Joe Mixon, and Joe Mixon's been super mid so far this year.
Super mid. Yeah, Joe Burrow, so back. Love to see that for the brand. Not much else there. The Bengals defense played really, really well. They're kind of an underrated defense in a way, especially that pass rush in Hubbard and Hendrickson.
Yeah, they do have a good D.
But yeah, I mean, T. Higgins, hopefully he gets more and more involved. He was drafted high. He's been underperforming all year.
He should change his number back.
Yeah, the number 5 ain't working.
He should go back
I'm
to
not a fan.
85.
McCaffrey, though, tied for the record in consecutive games with a touchdown. I feel like, they're on bye this week. I feel like he still may score. But yeah, big win for the Bengals.
He might come out in Carolina.
Moving to the Sunday night matchup, we had to sit through another primetime Bears game.
Why?
We're going to have to sit through another
Why?
This coming Thursday, we're going to have to sit through another one.
Why?
Badgett, back down to earth, looked like the worst QB in the league this week. Tons of turnovers. Justin Herbert, complete opposite. Very good day. Almost 300 yards, 3 touchdowns in the air. Eckler's so back. No injury designation throughout the week. Uptick in carries and 8 targets. That's where
really where Eckler
his bread and butter. So we love to see that for Eckler.
A bad week from Keenan Allen's standards.
Yeah,
with only
14.9 is bad for Keenan
14.9,
Allen.
yeah. But regardless, 10 targets. You love to see that. Any wide receiver getting 10 targets is a lock in your lineup any given week. Quentin Johnson with maybe his
best game of the season so far. Hopefully it gets better and better. They need that guy with Mike Will out for the season. Nothing really good out of the Bears passing attack this week. Like I said, Badgett brought back down to earth. The only good pass catcher was the tight end, Cole Kmet.
Yeah, DJ Moore's just begging Fields to come back.
Yeah, just begging for him to come back. He needs him to come back, too. I'm tired of it, too, honestly. But, yeah, decent day for Cole Kmet. Hopefully that continues. Donald Parham, too. Both of these tight ends should be rostered, I think, especially with Gerald Everett being in and out with an injury. Parham is a giant target. The guy's like 6'7". So if you're having tight end issues, might want to nab him. But a good one for the Chargers, though.
I'd rather nab Trey McBride.
We know, Blake. We know. Last matchup of Week 8, Monday Night Football. This game was a little bit close until that second half. The Lions kind of just kept running the football and could not be stopped. Terrible day out of Garoppolo. Not a single receiver caught a ball in the first half. Or
really?
Maybe he had like 1 or 2 catches in the first half. This was just awful for them.
That's pathetic.
Yeah. The entire receiving corps for the Raiders had terrible days. Really, the only receiver that had a good day was Amon-Ra, which you expect. Amon-Ra is phenomenal. This was the Jahmyr Gibbs show. It was all about the rookie.
Sam Laporta had a good day.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about Laporta. It's all about the rookies. It's all about the rookies.
All about those rookies.
For the Lions. Not for the Raiders. Laporta, Another great day, 10 targets. You love to see that. Also got into the end zone. But yeah, Jahmyr Gibbs, man, 26 carries, 152 on the ground, and 5 catches.
Guy looks like what everyone thought Bijan was going to be. I mean,
Exactly.
Not that Bijan's not it, but I mean, dude, he just looks. Jahmyr Gibbs looked so good this last week. He was breaking tackles, juking dudes. I mean, the yards after contact was amazing this last week. All around, he was just an ideal running back, catching the ball, running the ball, scoring the ball.
He looked really good. He just did whatever he wanted against the Raiders, who just fired their GM and head coach. So we're going to be seeing a very, very new Raiders team very soon.
And maybe a happy Devontae Adams.
Yeah. All right, moving on from the matchups, y'all. We just wanted to briefly go into Thursday night's matchup that we just watched last night, Tennessee versus the Steelers. So we're kind of going into Week 9 in a way. Good win for the Steelers. The NFL is definitely fixed, without a doubt in my mind. The NFL is fixed. The over-under was 36.5. 36 points were scored. That last 6 minutes, both teams had opportunities to kick field goals and get touchdowns, but for some reason, both of them couldn't get it done. Makes you think that Vegas is involved.
Najee Harris, since the bye, has actually been kind of solid for his standards.
Jalen Warren is better, though.
Jalen Warren is way more efficient, averaging 8 yards per carry last night, 3 catches, 25 yards, only 1 less point than Najee. Najee did get a touchdown in the first quarter to kind of
bolster his day.
For sure, absolutely.
Both QBs had, watching this game, both QBs looked decent. Will Levis had a great day, honestly, up until his pick at the end of the game. That was a bad ball. He's got risky throws that he makes. Those risky throws worked throughout the game until, obviously, the last drive, which is where, those plays are, read best. But I kind of like watching Levis play, man. He had a good day. From what I watched, I mean, he was slicing and dicing.
I did not like watching George Pickens play last night. Broke my heart not getting a second foot in bounds in the end zone. Deontay Johnson, his first touchdown in 650 days. Definitely being a little reception goblin out there. Hurting my George Pickens. I have in too many leagues. Because I thought he'd be a dog. He's not a dog anymore. He's a Steeler.
Not a dog. Pretty disappointing game, though. Like I said, Vegas, obviously, it's all fixed. But just to finish off the show, me and Blake both sit at 2-2 now with our picks. We're going to go through 3 games real quick for the Week 9 slate. All kind of prime time. We're doing the Frankfurt game instead of the Thursday night game since we're coming out late with this video. So, yeah, start out with first game to go over, the 8:30 game in Frankfurt, Germany. Miami versus Kansas City. The line sits at -1.5 for Kansas City. The over-under is the highest of the week at 50.5. What are we thinking, Blake?
Give me the over.
Blake likes the over.
Give me the Dolphins.
And Blake likes the Dolphins. I'm only going to pick one thing here, and it's Kansas City to win. I think Kansas City gets this win.
What's the spread? 1.5.
1.5. It's a close spread. Every time Miami's played a good team, they've gotten beaten. So I'm going to take Kansas City here. Moving into the Sunday night matchup, I think me and Blake both agree this might be the matchup of the weekend. It's a redo of the DeMar Hamlin game from last year, Cincinnati versus Buffalo. There's going to be a lot of emotions in this game. It's back in Cincinnati. DeMar Hamlin's going to be there. They're going to have the cameras on the guy. They're going to have the cameras on the players. Most of all these guys were there in the building last season when DeMar Hamlin almost died. So this is going to be a very emotional game. Cincinnati is favored by 2. The over-under is 49.5. What are we thinking, Blake?
I like the Bills in this game. Didn't I say over yesterday?
Yeah, I think you did.
Give me the over again.
Blake loves those overs. I'm going to take the under here, and I'm also going to take Cincinnati. So far, I'm the exact opposite of you, Blake. So we're definitely going to have some picks. Somebody's going to look like a genius next week.
It's me.
It's not going to be me, I promise.
It's me.
All right. Last matchup, Monday Night Football. It's the Jets versus the Chargers. Chargers favored by 3.5, and the over-under is 40.5. What are we thinking, Blake?
I said give me the Jets.
It's all about the J.
I don't know about the other lines. I don't want to touch them.
I don't want to touch them either, but I'm going to take Jets to win because I love my Jets. That will do it for our Week 8 episode, though, y'all. We appreciate you tuning in. Sorry for the late post, but we had to get it out at some time, right? We'll see you guys next week.